Yeah, I mean, I'm a victim of it as well. I think we all are. Part of it is because everything is so readily available online, which is a good thing if you use it properly. But if you abuse the privilege of having everything available online, that's when you start to cross the line. So, kids find, inappropriate pictures or inappropriate content. Yes, you can put parental locks on some websites or some TV channels or whatever, but I mean, there's 2-year-olds that know how to work an iPad better than I do sometimes. Like, they know how to get around these things. Having that kind of media accessible is good if you know what you're doing with it. But kids that just happen to go online and search for one thing and then it leads them to another, leads them to another, and leads them to another, it's going to end up at a bad point. I think for a while there they had the pressure to grow up. There wasn't much emphasis on being a kid. I feel like nowadays it's gotten to the point where we can kind of allow kids to be kids. Parents have kind of clued in a way. They're like, okay, so these kids are growing up too fast. They're finding out all this stuff way earlier than like their parents had found stuff out. So I feel like there's a lot of kids nowadays that are still kids, which is good. I don't necessarily feel the pressure to grow up in a way. I've always joked that I'm a 5-year-old at heart, at the age of 24. So, I mean, I know parts of my life that need to be grown up and be an adult, but there's times where we can sit back, watch a movie or TV show from our childhood and just relax and feel like a kid again, which I think everyone needs in their life. They don't need to be serious 24/7. I mean, the typical things for university students: graduating, finding a job. Am I gonna find someone to spend the rest of my life with? All these things. But I've come to the realization that things will happen when they happen. The more you force it, the worse it's gonna be, I find. I think being an older student in university in general has taught me that you can only control so many things. So the things you can control, obviously take advantage of that, but there's other stuff, that the world throws at you that you never saw coming. So, you need to know when to grow up and when to be an adult, but other than just the typical finding a job or whatever, that's the only issue, really. It comes from different things depending on each individual, I think, but I feel like a lot of it has to do with us as an individual, as pressure from ourselves. I was joking with my mom the other day that girls dress to impress girls, not to impress boys. And she's like, why? And I was like, I don't know. But in reality, if you think about it, whether we think about it or not, a lot of us judge other people. So it's an internal thing in us that we're like, oh, someone may judge me if I wear this, or someone might judge me if I look like this, so I've got to look like this instead. So I think there's stuff from the media, from friends, that starts to sink into your mind, but a lot of it is based on individual pressure from ourselves.